All right, Giles. Now, insert the 3 clips along the proximal margin.
OK. Actually, this isn't as hard as it looks.
3?
You did say 3 clips, didn't you?
Yes, Giles, I said 3. If I'd said 976, it may not have sounded quite so much like 3.
You know, the Wisconsin study found 2% fewer post-op complications with McPherson's 4-clip procedure.
Well, for all I know, that's because they don't know how to do the 3-clip method in Wisconsin. I have studied this technique under Sir Rupert Wilcock. I have done a course at the Royal College. Most important of all, we're not in Wisconsin.
All the same, the findings were...
How do you know so much about my job?
I like to keep up, so I know what you're putting my patients through.
May I remind you that I am the surgeon and you are the anaesthetist. And will you please stop criticising my professional ability in front of the patient?
Oh, no, it's quite interesting, really. You carry on.
That's the trouble with spinal anaesthetics. You never know who's listening.
It's true, you know.
What?
The Wisconsin group, they did this huge comparative study.
Jonathan.
And it showed quite clearly that the 4-clip procedure...
Dr. Haslam, you are getting worse, you know. When you come home, you must leave the hospital behind. What's your idea of a romantic night out these days? A candlelit barium meal?
I'm merely offering advice.
And while we're on the subject, did you have to put quite so much garlic in the bolognese sauce?
You like garlic?
You know damn well I've got outpatients tomorrow.
Well, it's never bothered you before. Many's the time I've seen you the morning after pigging out at the trattoria, breathing happily over your patients, like a warm breeze that has wafted gently through Pavarotti's armpits.
I use a mouthwash. Mind you, after your efforts tonight, I'll have to use something industrial strength.
Wait a minute. This hasn't got anything to do with the fact that you're admitting your celebrity patient tomorrow, is it?
Don't be ridiculous. You know I treat all my patients equally.
You've had your hair done.
Oh. When did you notice?
When we were, you know... Normally I while away the time counting the split ends. I couldn't find a single one.
You really are a horrible man.
So? We're perfectly matched.
Mr. Hopwin, is it true she's here?
Who?
Morgana.
Morgana? Should the name mean something to me?
She's only the lead singer with 0 VAT.
Her last album went platinum.
Virtual Banality.
Zinc Shockmolar guesting on keyboards.
Post-grunge urban trash.
She's going to Mrs. Sabatini's outpatients today.
I'm sorry. The only word I got there was outpatient.
I see from a window up the corridor that a large limousine motorcade has just blocked 4 entrances to this building.
What a singular honour for the Gillies.
Never before have I witnessed such a vulgar and singularly ostentatious display of wealth.
Well, if you've got it, flaunt it. That's what I say.
And she's got plenty to flaunt.
I've never seen this Morgana. Pretty, is she?
Not for you, Mr. Hopwin.
Oh, you mean I'm the wrong age?
Wrong sex.
Oh.
That's her image. Ultra-leftist, feminist, lesbian, man-eater.
Which is why she's having her hemorrhoidectomy done on the National Health.
You're not going private?
Wouldn't dream of it, apparently.
Huh. Rum folk, these rock and rollers.
Well, the problem's going to be when the press and TV people arrive. They'll be all over us like a rash.
Press and television?
Obviously.
Really?
Good Lord! Absolutely appalling.
What's appalling?
This pop music Morgana person's having her op done on the NHS.
I didn't expect you to approve.
Approve? The woman must be a multimillionaire. She could perfectly well afford to go private.
Well, this particular health service patient is going to cost the Gillies a fortune.
What do you mean?
Well, the woman comes in here for a simple hemorrhoidectomy, but because she's a megastar, it has to be done by a consultant surgeon. I have to arrange a single room for her post-op. We've had to draft in extra security, plus the administrative nightmare of processing a patient who's effectively on a 2-day waiting list.
2 days? Good grief. Even I can't offer that speed of service to the private adenoids of Saudi Arabia.
The health service is based on the principle of equal treatment for all, rich or poor. If they can pull out all the stops with this Pop-Tart, why couldn't they do the same for my cousin's bunions?
Indeed. No fun, bunions.
2 years she was on that waiting list. 2 whole years of pain, humiliation and orthopaedic footwear. She was a stranger to slingbacks.
Awful. But she had her op done in the end.
Only because she went private.
Jolly good.
You did it again!
I was merely offering some advice. If you can't take it in the spirit in which it was offered... What are you doing?
The Hospital Gardening Club is offering a prize for the best arrangement of herbs in an unusual receptacle. I'm chewing parsley. What does it look like?
And that's supposed to take away the garlic, I presume?
Yes, it is. And if it doesn't, I shall have to spend my lunch break gargling with toilet duck. The fact is, you're not a surgeon. You don't begin to understand the skills and judgments required. You just have to knock them out, keep them out, and with any luck, bring them back.
Excuse me.
Giles, do you have a view on this?
Well, when we were in the operating theatre, it did cross my mind someone's been eating garlic. Only I thought it might have been me.
Did you really, Giles? And what do you think now?
I think parsley isn't all it's cracked up to be.
Hello, operating theatre suite. Joyce... Oh, just a minute. Just a minute. Take it slowly. No, you can't. Because Morgana is not here, so you can't speak to her. No, I can't confirm that she's a patient of Mrs. Sabatini's. We're keeping it very hush-hush. Are you a relative? You want... I'm sorry. It's a very bad connection. You want to tell Morgana what? You want to be the one to tell her yourself? Oh, to kill her yourself. I'm sorry, I thought you said tell her. But you said kill. Right.
You slammed the phone down. Joyce, that was not clever.
Well, it took me by surprise. I mean, I've never spoken to a murderer before. I once saw a handbag snatched in Harvey Nichols, but you could see it wasn't real leather, and it clashed dreadfully with her shoes. So I just thought, don't get involved. She's better off without it.
You were not speaking to a murderer. All he's done is threatened to kill Morgana. The chances are he's just some harmless psychopath. Anyway, you should have kept him talking.
And what was I supposed to say? Oh, yes, it's a lovely day for chopping up a pop star and stuffing her down a rubbish chute. I mean, look at me, I'm still shaking.
No. You're not going to faint, are you?
No, I'm fine. Why?
Well, you know, my back's not as strong as it used to be. If I have to pick that lot up off the floor, well, there's no telling what damage I might
What
do.
lot?
Look, the best thing to do now is to wait for the police and leave it to them. They deal with this kind of thing every day. Joyce.
It's all right. I'll be okay.
Don't you dare. Joyce, please. Oh.
Oh, it's all right, officer.
What's going on? George Oak Wynn got another parking ticket.
Here to protect Morgana. She's being operated on by your mum this morning.
Well, it'll take more than the old bill to protect her against my mum.
They are here to ward off an attack by a frenzied maniac who's vowed to kill her. I'm telling you, Danny, it's been a real nightmare.
If you ask me, it's a lot of fuss about nothing.
Yes, of course it is. You'd better go.
Oh, OK. Shame I didn't have a chance to get Morgana's autograph while she's still with us.
And don't worry, everything's okay.
Right.
Michael, stay close.
I'm here.
Have you got the...
I've got it.
Right.
in here.
You let go of me!
Don't worry, lads, it's a domestic.
Any tips on how to put on my rubber gloves?
I've just had a word with Inspector Halliwell. Who? He's in charge of the police operation.
Oh, well, I'm sure he was very grateful for your advice on how to flex his knees and say, evening all.
This is serious. Now, apparently the police know about this Osprey character. He's been stalking Morgana for months. He sent her dozens of threatening letters and phone calls, and there's a chance he may be more than just a harmless crank.
Oh, good. The Gillies has got quite enough of those as it is.
Listen, the police psychiatrist has studied the evidence and has produced a profile of Mr. Osprey.
Well, I look forward to reading it in Hello magazine.
This is important. Now, Osprey's constant message to Morgana is that he will be the one to kill her. Psychiatrist interprets this as meaning that he believes it's got to be him that does it and nobody else.
Oh, they really earn their money, these police psychiatrists.
The trouble is, another note arrived here this morning. Apparently, our Mr. Osprey doesn't have a very high opinion of female surgeons. He doesn't want you to do her in before he gets the chance.
Oh, this is madness.
In the psychiatrist's opinion, this nutter's prime target will now be you.
Me?
It's illogical, I admit. I mean, he doesn't even know you. If he did, I could understand it.
You're supposed to cheer me up, or are you going for the black eye with the matching groin?
Sheila, I think this is all as potty as you do. But the theory is that Osprey wants to get at you before you wipe out his intended victim.
They're not taking this seriously.
Well, they have to. So the police have decided not to let you do the operation.
Decided?
For your own safety. And Morgana's given her consent for Neil Copeland to do it.
Copeland?
Sheila, if you take my advice...
Advice!
So far, so good.
Oh, George, good morning.
Really? Do you know, I've just fought my way in through a horde of press and television people camping out on the steps. And now the place is crawling with police.
That's the price we have to pay, my dear chap.
Why? What have you done?
They are here because I am operating on Morgana today.
You?
Yes. Had to step into the breach. Police have taken Sabatini off the case.
Arrested her?
Protective custody. Does that look all right to you, George?
Inspector Halliwell, what gives you the right to dictate how I carry out my surgical practice and play fast and loose with the therapeutic care of my patient?
I'm afraid I must be adamant, Mrs. Sabatini.
That young woman was admitted under my care. I am responsible, and I do not take kindly to my case being hijacked by the fuzz.
She has given her consent. And Mr. Copeland has convinced us that Miss Morgana's hemorrhoids will be more than adequately seen to by his good self. He has furthermore guaranteed an excellent and pleasing cosmetic result.
I have almost no qualms about Mr. Copeland's capability, nor about his sense of the aesthetic of the lower bowel. The fact remains that I decide who operates on my patients, whether it's Mr. Copeland, the president of the Royal College of Surgeons, or Big Reg from maintenance.
Sheila, don't forget that all this is being done for your safety. Inspector Halliwell is a highly trained professional.
So is Shirley Bassey, and she would have made a better job of it than him. If you're so worried about this, why don't you just postpone the operation and drive Morgana away in a chieftain tank?
Oh, no, the operation has to be done today.
As the consultant surgeon, perhaps I should be the judge of that.
Morgana insists that it's done today.
What's it got to do with her?
Well, apparently her Chinese astrologer said that her seventh dragon is in the
Chinese?
house...
Well, why don't we just slaughter a chicken and read its entrails? I think we're entitled to a second opinion.
I told you she wouldn't like it.
Mrs. Sabatini, please try to cooperate. A threat has been made against your life.
By some sad man with a bimbo in his bonnet.
We can't jump to that conclusion. We are police officers, Mrs. Sabatini. We know precisely how the human mind works.
Well, don't keep it to yourself. You could win a Nobel Prize for neurophysiology.
I don't think you caught my name correctly. It's Halliwell, not Plod.
You have proof of that?
Oh, I've seen his ID. It definitely says Halliwell, not... I expect you're ready for some coffee.
Mrs. Sabatini, Whether you like it or not, Mr. Copeland will be operating this morning, and you will sit out the operation under police guard in your consulting room, which has been rendered secure for this purpose.
That's what you think.
That's what I think.
Hello, Sheila. Just thought I'd look in to cheer you up.
Thank you, George.
Don't mention it.
Swap.
All well?
Yes, I'm fine, thank you.
How much the patient?
Oh, good as new. As neat a job as one could ever wish to see.
Oh, no problems.
None. Neil performed like a good one, although, in my opinion...
Don't start.
Mrs. Sabatini, now the operation is over and the patient has survived, I think we can assume that the immediate threat to yourself is past. I would like to thank you for your patience and cooperation. But there we are.
It's been a pleasure to meet such an honest, intelligent and sympathetic police officer.
Thank you.
Oh, it was nice meeting you too, Inspector.
Well, the theatre area is now clear. I'll check the route to the wards. In case Osprey still has any designs on his original target, hold Miss Morgana here till you get my signal.
Well, I can't stand here all day accepting your compliments and bouquets. I expect I should go and make a statement to the waiting press and television people.
Daniel, what are you doing here?
Oh, just helping out and taking a patient to X-ray.
That's not the way to X-ray. X-ray's down there. What?
Michael, fetch the police!
Daniel, who are these people?
It's all right. This is Mike and, Mike. They work for a well-known national daily newspaper.
Don't tell me. The Telegraph.
Look, all they wanted was a chance to get a picture of Morgana and a quote from the surgeon who did the op.
And you're helping them out of the kindness of your heart.
Well, you know me.
Daniel.
Well, I'm keeping the money.
No, you're not. Not unless you've changed your name to the Gillies Scanner appeal.
That is theft.
Daniel, if you want me to help you stop getting into very serious trouble, look on it as a bribe.
I don't believe it.
What?
He's giving them an exclusive.
Well, of course, hemorrhoids, that's spelled with an A-E, 2 R's and a hoids. They really are rather common in youngish women following pregnancy. And as Morgana has been a sufferer since the birth of her child some years ago, it was my considered clinical opinion that surgery was the best...
The plain fact is that your bungling incompetence has put my staff and patients at very serious risk.
Nobody was hurt.
Not yet.
Hang on, what about him? Oh, so he's got a bloody nose.
And you've got a bloody nerve. You came here to keep this murderous Mr. Osprey out, and you failed, Inspector Halliwell, spelt P-L-O-D.
Inspector, that's a top security fax for you.
Thank you.
It's classified for your eyes only. From Police Computer Record Centre at Hendon.
What does it say?
It says the suspect they're holding isn't Mr. Osprey. They actually confirm it's Morgana's press agent. He's got a record for violence.
Why did he attack me?
Well, according to the sergeant, he went bananas when he heard you blowing the gaff to the press about Morgana having been pregnant. You've ruined her image.
So, Mr. Osprey is still at large.
You mean that wasn't the nutter?
Well, I suppose this puts us back on full-scale alert, which in your case means falling into a light doze.
Don't fret, Mrs. Sabatini. I'm going to arrange to have Miss Morgana transferred to a secure private clinic.
Excuse me, you are transferring my patient!
Have you been eating garlic?
That patient was admitted under my care. She is my responsibility, and I will decide when she is fit to be discharged.
Morgana goes. If you want to argue the toss, see me on the ward.
Sheila? You know what you like when you get in a temper? That's it. Hang on. Sheila, if you want to take my advice...
Your advice?
Forget I spoke. Joyce, you can relax. The police have taken Morgana to a private clinic. It's all over.
You're right, Joyce.
He's here.
Who's here?
The nutter. Sorry. Mr. Osprey. He's in here.
Joyce?
Sheila, leave the door.
Are you going to go on disagreeing with every single thing I do?
Look, this is a matter for the police. Come away from that door. very, very quiet.
Scissors.
Mrs. Sabatini, that was there for your protection.
I'm very grateful, and I'm sure your tape reliably stops bullets and knives, but your boffins have yet to make it scissor-proof. What's going on?
We are in a hostage situation, but we are making progress. An hour ago, they requested we send in supplies. Mugs of hot chocolate, a plate of chocolate eclairs, and a strawberry cheesecake.
Ah, so Joyce is still alive.
And Mr. Osprey has allowed our forensic psychiatrist to go inside to act as mediator. Now, Mrs. Sabatini, I must ask you to stand behind this line.
I'm going in there.
Mrs.
Look,
Sabatini...
Joyce is not only a colleague, she is a close personal friend. What's more, I know first aid.
I can allow this.
You're not sure? You've never had to deal with anything like this before, have you?
What, a siege?
No, me. Joyce! Are you all right?
Oh, don't worry, I'm fine. Everything's under control now, thanks to the psychiatrist.
Yes, I've given Mr. Osprey a jab to calm him down.
You're the psychiatrist?
Obviously. Anyone want some cheesecake?
Oh, I couldn't.
Joyce, you must have been scared stiff.
Oh, I'm used to psychiatrists.
Sad case, obsessive paranoid delusions. An eclair?
I must say, I've really got a thing about eclairs.
Oh, tell me about it.
What are they doing in there?
Of course, this is nothing new to me. I remember once, must have been 30 years ago in Malaya, fellow ran amok with a meat cleaver, blood and guts all over the place.
George?
At the end of the day, couldn't tell which arms and legs were whose.
George!
Oh, I'm sorry, old boy.
OK, the excitement is over.
Are you okay?
Yes, of course I am.
I've been worried about you.
So have I.
And Joyce?
Oh, she's having post-trauma counselling.
Now, if you'll excuse us, we both have to make our statements to the press.
Yes, and do I have some tales to tell?
Mrs. Sabatini, if you publicly criticise my professional abilities, I may be forced to take action over your son. Daniel, isn't it? The one who smuggled the tabloid press into a secure zone, thereby creating enough confusion to enable Mr. Osprey to gain entry and take a hostage.
Jonathan, what shall I do?
You're asking my advice?
Yes, I'm asking your advice. What shall I tell the press?
Look, the press are only interested in a successful police operation. So I'll do all the talking. You just stand there looking lovely. Evening all.
Go talk to the press.
Forget it. They've all gone.
Well, the TV as well?
Yeah, the ambulance taking Morgana to the private clinic was involved in a crash. They've all gone to cover that.
Oh, this is a last straw.
Not quite. Can you cover for Neil Copeland tomorrow?
Why, he's only got a bloody nose.
It was his car the ambulance crashed into.